Okay. So, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Here we are, week 3, episode 3 of WandaVision. Sorry, I just gotta breathe in again because I did honestly just rewatch the episode and it's still a lot to take in, even after seeing it 3 or 4 times. What do you guys think of it, first of all?
Well, I think maybe first we should say that there's going to be probably spoilers if people haven't watched
That's
haven't
very
watched
true.
WandaVision. So if you haven't watched it, go and watch it and then come back and listen to us.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit antsy trying to get right into it, but yes, definitely will be
Yeah,
spoiling
that's fair.
all of the episode.
Yes.
All right, you have been warned. All right, Zach, what were your takes? Just quick takes before we start diving deep into it.
Well, I know we're gonna start at the beginning, but that ending, that Wanda
Mhm.
definitely losing control of her power or losing grip.
Yeah,
It was great. It was great though, and I think I might have been wrong. Era, it seemed to be, but it seemed like 60s and 70s style.
your mic's kind of cutting in and out, Zach.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
I might have to grab you.
that might be good. Can you move the thing a bit closer? If not, like it might be good.
How's this?
Sounds good now. I don't know why I
Okay.
was just cutting out a few times. That's all good.
It could have been me moving around.
It happens.
Yeah. But no, you can tell she's definitely losing control of her power. Like something interrupted. I really liked the episode though. I'm probably gonna rewatch it after the podcast.
Yeah. Honestly, like I I was taken aback by this episode just cuz the first two weren't really like they had those two creepy moments, right? This whole episode to me just felt creepy. Just really weird, even just right from the start. Like something just felt off. What about you, Chris?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. It's a strange one because I really enjoyed the first two, and I think the first two were sort of pure. I mean, well, not pure was probably the wrong word, but they were sitcoms with sort of the sort of the Marvel sort of sprinkling of Wonder and Vision, sort of meeting the beekeeper and different things like that, which were a little bit creepy. But you're right, this one was it reminded me of the Truman Show,
Yeah.
where you just knew. I think in the first two episodes you could generally just have them in them sitcoms, whereas this one I think you knew something was just up, which was probably a lot of it was right in your face, such as Wanda going through the pregnancy so quickly. So that automatically gives you a sort of an idea that not everything's not right. But obviously the little hints, and the first time I watched this, I thought, and I've just rewatched it now. But the first time I watched it, I thought, it's two parts. You had the first part where it was the pregnancy, and then the second part where everything sort of went a little bit batshit crazy. But when I watched it again, it's not. It's actually the first part of the episode. It's sprinkled with sort of a little bit of madness as well. What's his name? Herb, sort of cutting through the wall.
Yeah.
That was in the first. That was in the first half, and it's interesting, Zach, that you say that she lost control of her powers. I saw it the other way. That she, I'm assuming you were referring to, and again, apologies, I've jumped from the start right to
No,
to
that's
the
all
end
good.
here, but I'm going with it. I'm assuming that you were referring to when she expels. Well, that's my word. Expels Geraldine or Monica from Westview. Is it Westview?
Uh,
Yeah.
no, I was more referring when she's going through her contraction.
Ah, that.
You know,
Yeah.
she spawned a crane, or I don't know if she even spawned it. That crane might have been a symbol that babies are coming.
Yeah.
At first, I
Yeah.
thought it was spawned, but then when the crane was the baby, God, no, that's symbolism. No, I don't think Wanda accidentally cast her out.
Oh, the last little bit cut out there, Zach.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lost.
I might grab my other headphones.
All right.
No, I was saying I think Wanda cast her out on purpose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my other headphones real quick. So
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
No problem.
Here. Yeah, I'll just go into it a little bit there. I was a little bit there. I was. Oh, I might have to mute Zach. I might have to mute Zach quickly. Mute. Did that work? All right. Did that work? Oh, all right. I don't think it did. Oh, I don't think it did. We might have to wait a sec.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just muted him. That should work for now. All right. Sorry, Zach. We love you. Anyways, I was thinking like right from the beginning, yeah, the stuff with Herb really threw me off.
Sorry, Tom. I'm getting double feedback.
Oh, I didn't mute Chris for everyone. You might have, or sorry, mute Zach.
Do I?
Yeah, it's just on the side there, I think.
Um.
Can I server mute him? Is that? Oh no, he's back.
It's all right.
All right.
We can just cut all that.
Yeah.
all right, are these better?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
I hear a bit of an echo.
Yeah, I've got an echo as well.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I can try without any headphones and see how that goes.
That's
True.
weird because I don't get an echo from you, but I get an echo from myself and from Tom.
Here, I think part of it might be. I think part of it might be just turned up super loud. Oh no, I'm getting.
Let me turn mine.
Zach, I think. Let's see. Oh, it seems good. Oh.
Yeah, you're getting an echo from me, or
I don't get an echo from you. I'm getting an echo
From me?
from myself, and no, not from you, Zach.
huh?
I
That's
was
weird.
A little bit. I don't know. Huh. We can move back. It's not too loud. Yeah, I didn't even get it there at all.
Did you not?
Nope.
I haven't got it.
There we go. All right.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't heard an echo at all.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's jump back a bit. Just the beginning of the episode really was creepy. Like the doctor part at the beginning. I really like pretty self-explanatory what's going on. Just trying to reintroduce everybody to the situation, realize that yes, Wanda's pregnant and Vision's going through this. They're making sure everything's in order. The title card too, like the WandaVision one, not the Marvel Studios one. I noticed those hexagons again everywhere.
Yeah.
And that I don't know. I'm starting to just take it as look for satanic symbols and mentions, because I'm almost positive now that this is connected to Mephisto. Because I think Agnes is also partially in control. Because it seemed like she was trying to keep Herb quiet. Sorry, I'm jumping a bit ahead again.
Yeah.
When they were talking, she was trying to keep him quiet. And yeah, I don't think Wanda's the only one who's in full control of this. I think she started it. And has completely surrounded the town in her magic. But I think there's some other stuff going on.
I know we're speaking of jumping around. I just want to say the end when she is cast out. You see that like baseball field almost with all the lights.
Yeah.
And you can see that like force field around it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hope they jump into that more on what that is. If that's like a portal, or if, you know, all these people are real, but they're all being put under some kind of, you know, mind thing.
I've got a theory about that, and I don't think it's a portal. I think I think Westview.
Yes.
I think that's the name of the village town, whatever. I think that's a real place, and I think that's a force field around it done
Kind of
by
like
Wanda, and she's now sort of in that force field. She's controlling, or she's putting everyone through these sitcoms, and I think some of the people in there will probably just be occupants of the town caught up on it. But then there's people like, obviously, Agnes and Herb, who were certainly involved in some way. And then you've got. See, I think she does have sort of quite a bit of control in there, Wanda. Obviously, something's going on with Agnes, but I think it's Wanda who has full control. Maybe not full control, but she certainly has. I think she created the place, and she, like what she did. She expelled Monica or Geraldine. What we didn't see, which I thought was interesting, because I looked back at the trailers. In one of the trailers, we do see Geraldine getting sort of like flown through some buildings and pushed out of a portal. And I think that should have been in this episode, and they've cut that out.
I have a bit of a theory about that as well. I think we haven't seen the entire scene that's gone through with them yet. Because there's more to that scene. We saw Wanda fixing the wall where clearly she was thrown through. We saw her flying through there. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling this next episode's gonna start start in place as Geraldine, right? In the room with Wanda, right beside the twins. Then Wanda, they have that little talk about. Well, actually, we'll get to that. We'll not talk exactly about that, but they have the talk, their disagreement, and she gets thrown out. I think it's just going to go into more detail about the end of that and her actually getting thrown out. And I think a lot of next episode's honestly going to focus on Sword outside and what they're doing. It just seemed like it with the aspect ratio changing too. I'm almost positive we're probably still going to see some stuff inside, and it's going to be more so like an 80s, or is that what decade they're in now? Right? 80s?
Yeah, they're in 70s. Yeah, this episode was in the 70s, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. So 80s for next episode. And then transitioning back to the regular format we see for most movies, and that'll be like the sword stuff. I think we might get more and more of that each episode.
I agree.
I just think they're setting it up for that, and especially if that's all that Monica or Geraldine was going to be in that, let's call it the simulation reality for. We haven't seen too much more of her in trailers or anything, and she's still supposed to have a big part in this series. So, kind of think it's going to be a bit more now.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think next episode there might be a shift towards seeing what's going on the outside. I mean, they've basically shown us that now, that there is an outside. You know what I mean? I know there was hints previously, but she's. I'm going to use the word expelled again, but I think she's been expelled from the WandaVision world, and now she's in the real world. And I think they're going to pick up from there. We'll see more of that side, and I think that's where we're going to see probably Agent Wu and Darcy, maybe wherever she fits into it as well.
I'm hoping so.
And you can, and what I was saying with Wanda losing control of her power, she's obviously starting to piece together on who she was, and I think that's how she was able to cast out Geraldine, because she kind of, we won't talk about their conversation, but you could kind of see she had some sort of realization in her face almost, but with a bit of shock.
There's one more thing. We did also talk about this last week, but now we have a lot more evidence just to at either side of this theory. So, what do you guys think's going on with Vision? Is he alive?
I don't know. It's really hard to say. I mean, because he questions everything just as much as Wanda would. But at the same time, it's like I go back to the Mind Stone. It's like, how is that there? Is that just how Wanda sees him and that's how he's portrayed? Or, did they somehow get the stones back, or that stone at least, to put them back together? I don't know. It's really hard to say if he is alive or not, or powerless or not, however you want to say it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I've gone back and forth, and I think. Sorry, lost my trail of thought there. If he was Wanda's, if Wanda sort of brought him back, then surely she would bring him back not to question things. Yet he is like what Wanda is, and what we've seen now is when he started to question, we think, or my view is, she resets. I think he came back in from outside. I think that's when Herb was cutting through the wall, and he starts to question it, and I think she resets it because he's starting to question it. And you think, well, if she's created him, why would she create him to question things? So I think he might be alive. And Wanda doesn't want him to question it, because if she questions it, it could break down that bubble that they're in that perfect world where Wanda's perfect world with being with the one who she loved. And if that breaks down, that's it, it's gone. So she resets.
I was gonna say, like, that's exactly what I was thinking of when Vision walks back inside. He starts to question it just the slightest bit, because he's conscious. Like he knows something's up. And she's just like, no words this time. No words. No, like rewinding or anything. Just rewinding.
Just skip, like a skip back, wasn't it?
Did we maybe come up with this theory? And I just don't remember it. Like, if Wanda is maybe inside Vision trying to repair him.
Ooh.
So that's why maybe she erased it, because he was catching on or realizing something's up.
Maybe.
Because this is the second time now she's, rewound and restarted everything.
I had a...
Actually...
Oh, sorry, Zach?
I was going to say, I thought my Disney Plus was going wrong, because it, like, repeated. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, wait, it's WandaVision. That's right.
Same here for a second. I was like, my internet cut out again.
Yeah.
When that happened the first week. So a little backstory for anyone listening. When I was watching the first two episodes, my internet cut out halfway through the second one. So I was up at 3 a.m. I guess it was about 4-ish at that point, trying to get my internet working, running around the house. Oh, yeah. Quite the night. Quite the night.
Yeah, that's a nightmare, that mine.
Just getting back to it, I kind of thought that someone brought this theory up before, that Vision was brought back, but it's the gray Vision. It's Vision without the Mind Stone, and Wanda wasn't exactly happy with him, and that's partially what triggered her to create this reality. So, like, I do agree with what Zach's saying. I think she's kind of manipulating Vision to what she wants him to look like. I do think Vision is alive. But I think, like, she's just trying to maintain the utmost control on him that she can, because she wants him to live how she pictures him in how they were pre-Infinity War, right? Or even at the beginning, I guess.
Yeah, that would make some sense. It's I don't know. It's a difficult one. He's obviously questioning a lot of things, and she's trying to keep a control on that. I mean, I don't know whether or not, because I've read a lot of things online that people seem to be convinced that she's created this through her grief for what's happened pre-Endgame. Now, whether or not that's, I mean, I'm not quite sort of sold on that because I think Vision is alive now. I do, and that sort of theory of him possibly being the Grey Vision. I mean, is that a thing in the comics? Him being,
Yeah.
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 Okay. Right, that would make some sense then.
It was when he was resurrected, he came back like that. But like
Right.
Vision in the comics too never did have like in the comics they're the gems, not the stones. So he never had the mind gem in his head either.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was a big difference. I think I don't even know. There's so much with Vision that I feel like will almost definitely be explored next episode in one way or another because they have to.
Mm.
He's the only one who seems to like in there who actually is like kind of getting close to the answer of what's actually going on. He's more of the audience's seat, if that makes sense. Like we're like
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like we're kind of almost just following Vision because he's finding out everything just as we are.
I want to know who's behind the seat of the, Please Stand By TV that we've seen twice now. I think the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was the end of this last episode. I think it was like 3/4 of the way through.
Oh no,
Or like
this one
right
they
before.
didn't actually. They didn't cut to the room they were in. It was just the Please Stand By, and then the credits went.
Oh, okay.
He actually had the guns pulled on it.
Yeah.
I noticed when I last. Yeah. Which I mean, that might just be a reaction to someone coming out of that world, so they've ran over, pulled the guns out. I don't know, but she. I mean, it seems obvious to me that she's working for Sword.
Yeah.
With the pendant, the sword pendant on her. I mean, just talking about that particular scene, actually, when her, well, leading up to Monica getting expelled, I found it quite interesting that although I've said before that Wanda's in control of the reality, or the WandaVision reality that they're in,
Mm-hmm.
she seems to realize when the I can't remember I don't know if it's her that mentions it or Monica, when they mention twins, she seems to all of a sudden go, "Oh yeah, I'm a twin." Like she realizes she's a twin, and then it sort of clicks that, yeah, I've got a brother, and it seems to just she realizes then, or she remembers then, sorry, something that she's sort of long forgotten. But I think that also then triggers Monica to remember why she was there, and I think because I was trying to sort of understand, trying to think, well, does Joel keep going between Geraldine and Monica. I'm going to stick with Monica. I think she was sent in there to try and get, or maybe not to get her out, but certainly to try and get some information. But I think she forgot who she was when she was in there, and I think it's certainly in that moment, I think it's clicked when they start talking about the twins, and she and Wanda starts talking about her brother. Monica goes, "Oh yeah, he was killed. He was killed by Ultron," and that's when it all sort of unravelled a little bit. But I found it quite interesting that Wanda took great offence, and she got very protective. Certainly, because I think there was a bit where Monica goes, "Oh, I'll take a shift. I'll look after the twins," and Wanda goes, "No, you're getting out."
Yeah.
And it was very protective, and it was all of a sudden. And what I found again interesting was going back to the beekeeper scene in the previous one, where I said on the last podcast that the Wanda and Vision were terrified in that moment. That that they were shitting themselves.
Yeah.
And Wanda rewound. Now, why didn't Wanda just rewind this time? She didn't. She just got rid of her. So I find it interesting that she dealt with the beekeeper by rewinding, yet with Monica, she expelled. I don't necessarily have an answer to
Yeah.
that.
No.
I just found interesting that why did she deal with one in one way and one the other? And she certainly didn't. She didn't seem scared of Monica, whereas the beekeeper, I think she did.
I wonder if it's the sword logo, because she was kind of panicked when she saw Monica's necklace, right? And that was just like a small sword, not so much the actual logo with all the writing on it. But that was on the beekeeper's. I guess what do you call it? Suit, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was on the back there. So that was pretty much like I took that like, all right, she recognized that logo. I don't think she recognized Monica. She just thinks, honestly, I wonder if she thinks Monica's just someone there to manipulate her, even though she probably doesn't realize that she already is being manipulated.
Yeah.
I do
I was
have
going to say,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Zach.
I was just going to say she probably just felt more threatened by Monica than anything.
Yeah, because she just directly referenced something that wasn't at all like. Obviously, the beekeeper wasn't there before, but like we've had zero mentions other than like a few Sokovian heritage and Hydra watches and stuff like that. But like nothing really too deep delving into her backstory and like actually how they got there, what happened, like what even happened to them in the last year since the second snap happened. I don't know. I think it's very confusing. It constantly just tends to bend my mind, and I think it continuously will. And I'm going to go for a little bit of a reach on this, because I'm going to go for a theory that her reaction to Monica when Monica said that Pietro was dead, killed by Ultron, she said, "What did you say?" Not accepting it in any way. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't seem like she ever really accepted Vision's death either. Even, I mean, that one scene at the end of Endgame, you could take that either way. You could take that as her snapping finally, trying to get him back, or her just being at peace that they've won and he's passed. I'm going to take it as the first one. I'm almost positive that she's going to either bring back Quicksilver, or he's just going to be an animation, something that she just created in that reality. I'm almost positive we're going to see Aaron Taylor Johnson now.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see him as well. I mean, we never saw her, and I know this. This is obviously separate to WandaVision, but we never saw her grieve in the films. In Infinity War. Well, Infinity War, she was stabbed, and then Endgame. Like you say, we got a bit of a scene at the end with Hawkeye, but the aftermath. She's lost a lot in a short period of time, and had to deal with a lot. So, yeah, and the mention, like I said, the mention of the twins, and I think it sort of popped back that she sort of realised, oh yeah, I'm a twin, I've got a brother, and yeah, I agree. I think she'll bring a creation of Quicksilver back. It wouldn't surprise me if we see him in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we do.
Yeah, especially like they got the rights back too. Like that's been, oh my god, it's been almost like a year and a bit now, 2 years.
Yeah.
So obviously, like I really do want a little bit of a tease that they're mutants. I don't know if they're gonna go that route, but I would like them to.
I think Marvel, whether or not they do it in WandaVision, but I think they'll have to, because that's what they are.
Yeah.
And the only reason they weren't said they were mutants, is because they couldn't, because they didn't own the property, did they? So, if they had, they probably would have been mentioned as mutants back in Age of Ultron. So I think the will, whether or not it's now in WandaVision or certainly in the future in one of the films, I think they'll bring it back. And I don't know if we've mentioned on this podcast before, or certainly something I've seen online, where they'll sort of, the way they'll do it is that Strucker used the stone just to unleash the mutant gene
Yeah.
in both her and Quicksilver. So it wasn't necessarily the stone that gave her the power; just the stone unleashed the sort of the mutant gene, and it makes sense. That could easily, Marvel might have more elaborate ways of explaining it, but I think they will. I think they'll somewhere down the line they'll explain that she's in.
Yeah. I think.
I think they're gonna. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. Sorry, I just keep
Uh,
interrupting
I,
you.
I, no, you're good. I think they're gonna stick with the stone, creating mutants. And I've seen this on our page before. I believe is that when the Mind Stone and all the stones, when Thanos destroys them down to atoms, those will create the mutants.
Oh,
I've seen somebody post it on our. I'm pretty sure it was our page, and I mean, if they stick with that way of the stone creating Wanda and Quicksilver, with all the stones blowing up, that can create so many mutants. And they might entwine that with WandaVision. I know there's that video I posted to the page about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Definitely opening the door for X-Men.
I seriously thought that was what they were going to do for the entire time until very recently when I forget what it is. There's some book that Marvel Studios put out and it's like in the place of Shuri, like Shuri wrote the book. It's about a bunch of different things from the MCU over the years. There was a little bit of mention when they were talking about Wanda and Pietro, I think it was, or maybe it was just about Sokovia. Not directly saying people in Sokovia have the mutant gene, but something about the people in Sokovia, they're more likely to become enhanced beings.
right.
So I do think that the X gene is already there. I just think it's more dormant in, let's say, the States, because that's really all we've seen so far of the MCU and Wakanda. So in the States and Africa, it's actually we have barely seen Wakanda, so I can't even say that.
Right.
So really, just the States. Maybe it's a bit more dormant, and they're just hiding out there. Maybe at the X Mansion, which was most likely due to the location, probably a few blocks away from the Avengers HQ.
Right.
Like that was in upstate New York, and isn't the X Mansion's in Westchester, right?
I believe
right?
so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds right. I mean,
Well, let's hope it's right.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the X-Men, I mean, I might be proved completely wrong, but I think Marvel are gonna leave X-Men sort of sitting for a while. Fantastic Four, Blade, they're going to be introduced certainly before X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might get a lot of sprinkling of teasers with the X-Men, I think, and I think it'll probably drive us crazy because we're talking about it now, which is rightly so because Wanda is a mutant, or certainly she was in the comics, and yeah, it's I think it will be frustrating for probably a long time because I think it'll be a long time before X-Men are certainly confirmed to be coming along.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think Marvel are gonna put something in so concrete for everyone to go. Yeah, X-Men, great, yeah, this is them coming now, type of thing. I think they'll just be little sprinkles of stuff, and then maybe something, maybe a big hitter, towards the end of Phase 4, perhaps. I don't know.
they'll build it up kind of like to Infinity War. It'll be another 20-some movies till we get X-Men.
I have a theory with nothing to go on for it, so let's just take it for a spin. I think an X-Men movie is about 7 years away. However, I think the first introduction of mutants and us actually seeing mutants on film will probably begin this year.
With Doctor Strange.
I think it's gonna start with WandaVision. They're gonna, like you were saying, sprinkle the seed that I don't think they're gonna outright say she's a mutant yet. I think that might come in Doctor Strange. I think the Eternals is the biggest one for me because that's the whole backstory of the universe. Like this is like we're talking about the Celestials and the Eternals, and like they were the people who ended up giving people the X gene, so mutants could even be a thing.
Yeah.
So they're pretty involved as it is in the comics with the creation of mutants, depending on what universe you look at. We aren't going to talk about the Ultimates, because in that, the U.S. government made the X gene. Yeah. No. Anyways, yeah, like, I think they're going to go maybe a bit down that route and just kind of show how that might have happened. Again, I still don't think they're going to call them mutants. I don't even know if they're going to call it the X gene, but I think they're going to give like a very, very like not subtle hint that we're clearly talking about the X gene in mutants without saying it.
Right. I could see that.
Yeah.
When is the Eternal supposed to come out? Like fall,
November.
Right?
Yep.
November?
That's fallish. It's
What is it? Did you hear, like, because obviously Thanos was a Celestial, right?
yes. So actually,
He could make a return as a young Thanos
it is
in the Eternals.
it is confirmed that in the Eternals movie, Thanos will have at least a cameo.
Nice. I did not know that.
They
That's
literally
cool.
just got announced a few days ago. The creator of
Oh,
Thanos
okay.
came and said that.
Awesome. Obviously, I don't think he'll be played by Josh Brolin.
Oh, me
Maybe.
depending on when they do him.
But, yeah, depending on how old he is. Yeah.
I mean, they could just de-age him, make him look like he did in the Goonies.
Right.
Oh, I think everyone would love that Josh Brolin again.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
kidding.
I know I would.
This might be a bit off topic, even though we're a bit off topic of WandaVision as it is. But let's just do this one fun little question. Would you guys want to see Josh Brolin come back as Cable in the MCU?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
I think he did great.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. We
I
don't have to
agree.
remove anyone from the podcast. Perfect.
Did you have the finger on the button ready?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Right. Just the video disappears. Like, oh, well,
It's like, we lost one.
Expel like Monica.
Yeah.
yeah, right. All right,
Just
bring it
shooting
right
back
back to
into the Facebook group
WandaVision.
chat. Oh, man.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I like Cable in Deadpool too. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be interesting. I mean, I've missed. I know there's been some talk of Deadpool 3, and I think Ryan Reynolds has signed up to quite a few Marvel films now. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Whether or not I'd love to see him sort of mixing with the Avengers or whoever. Spider-Man. I don't know how they do it because we've been sort of an R-rated character, but still.
I wonder if they're gonna do. I wonder if they're just gonna keep his own movies R-rated, and like if they do an X-Force movie, maybe that'll be R-rated too. And
Yeah.
They'll probably just bleep him out if it's PG-13. If he teams up with the Avengers, they'll probably still have him swear and just bleep it out.
or even he'll just be the one, because how they get to say you get the one big swear word per PG-13 movie, right? They'll just give it to Deadpool instead of Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing is with Deadpool though, he can talk about that on screen.
Yeah.
that he can't swear and whatever. He could actually just directly talk to us and say, "Well, I would have said this here," or
Yeah.
So but how that would work in a, you know, imagine him talking to the screen in Endgame. Just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work at all.
I just pictured
So
of like him coming out of the portal, and he turns to the camera and he goes like, or no, not to the camera. He turns to like Thor and he just goes, I'd be using a lot more coarse language if Papa Feige wasn't so strict, or just something like that. And Thor just kind of turns like, oh, all right, just keeps going.
To what you were saying though, having Deadpool say the F word instead of Samuel Jackson, could have them both say it at the same time. I mean, really only one swear then.
I
Like
really
first
like.
time they meet each other, and Nick Fury's just like mother.
Well, yeah, and they did that movie together too, Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yep.
it wasn't a bad film. I
Yeah.
quite enjoyed that.
So did I. I just think that chemistry would be great. And
Oh yeah.
If I'm gonna say my dream Deadpool film right now, I think it's gonna have to be a Team Red film, which would be Deadpool, Daredevil, and Spider-Man.
I would love that.
I think
Yeah, I'd go for that.
that would be extremely hard to do. At least two of the rights are fully under Marvel, but not so much Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's gonna be exciting.
Do we want to get back to WandaVision?
I think we could.
I was gonna ask what your thoughts were on the advert in the middle.
Hydra soak, right? The bath bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I was wrong. I thought one of the ads were probably gonna tease the Quicksilver Vision. It could still happen.
Yeah. To be honest, after your theory last week, it sort of disappointed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Same
advert was hide. I was like, no. Tom said there'd be something else.
Yeah. I need to stop hyping everyone up so much.
Like, they haven't listened to Tom, the bastards.
The show's just getting better.
Yeah.
I still think it's her memory just leaking through that, Hydra was responsible for her powers and everything. And
I saw a theory on some forums saying that they think that the man and the woman could be Wanda's parents, and that's why they're in a sort of an advert separate, because she doesn't really remember them, or certainly they died when she was very younger, so they're separate. Which that could be. Just thought it was a nice little theory, really, that they could be her parents. I don't know. I think they're getting less and less relevant. I don't think they're as relevant as what I originally thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
Especially with this one, I think it's just a nice little break in the middle, just to say, look, Hydra's behind this, or certainly Hydra's there, and Stark was there. I think like you're right, Zach. It's just her memories just sort of seeping through. I think that's all it is.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be Quicksilver. I'm going to stick with that. I really did. It makes me wonder if there's going to be more Stark advertisements now, or more Strucker advertisements. And I wonder if
I
those
think
might
it'll
be the
be
ones they stick with.
I think Hydra will die down, and then it'll be just Stark. Kind of like in a
How her actual
timeline
life
of her
was.
memory. Because then Hydra was no longer relevant at one point, and then she was with the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be more directed towards Stark
Or
technology.
it changes Ultron then to Stark.
Yeah.
See, because Stark wasn't, Stark was obviously very big at the start, when she was little, and that was the reason for why she was happy for the experiments to be done on her.
Mm-hmm.
But then once she sort of moved, she quite quickly in Age of Ultron sort of moved to the Avengers side. Was at that point? Is that when is that when he stepped back, Tony?
Yeah,
One of the many times, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But Wanda from probably Age of Ultron going forward, she didn't really have much to do with Tony. It was more probably
Cap.
Captain America.
Captain, and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Vision, yeah.
So it could be possible that I would love to see sort of hints towards Cap and some of the others perhaps.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Natasha, actually, like,
Yeah,
kind of, because she was taking her under her wing and everything.
Yeah.
And like it only would have been a few of them living at the compound because it was Vision, Wanda, and then I'm guessing Romanov.
Falcon.
Was Falcon living there?
Yep. Because at the end of Age of Ultron,
The Ant-Man
it was
stuff.
Falcon. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It just threw me that it was another Hydra advert.
Yeah,
I just didn't think. You had Strucker, even if it had been Stark, just purely Strucker, and then Hydra. You think, okay, fair enough. But Strucker, it was Strucker and Hydra because it had the Hydra sort of symbols on the watch. So to then just have a Hydra one, I mean, maybe they're dragging it out. Maybe they haven't got enough to do for each episode. So I thought, we'll throw a Hydra one in here and then move on to Cap or whoever else next. I don't know. But yeah, like you say, Tom, I'm surprised. Well, maybe they're not putting Quicksilver in an advert because he might turn
just
up anyway.
show up. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I just thought that this one too just didn't seem to have much of a deeper meaning. This is like, it's a bath soap. It's Hydra bath soap? Like what? Like the Strucker watch you could get, there was like the ticking, the Hydra symbol. You hear it ticking the faster it gets, showing like it's kind of suspenseful. Same with the Stark toaster. It sounded like the repulsor ray and then the blinking red of the light. This just didn't have any of that for me. And I maybe I'm not looking deep enough. But just from right now, I couldn't really like see anything like too much more in depth about this.
Could be like, Wanda could have been, iffy about Hydra, and this could just be like Hydra saying like, hey, relax, like we're the good guys or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm looking too deep into it.
Yeah.
We need a middle here, Chris. What's
Yeah, I'm trying to think back because I'm trying to think there was like a tagline. Was it for the god? Did I write it down for the goddess in you or something like that? There was some sort of tagline, and I'm trying to think. Does that refer to anything? I couldn't pick up any. I think that's why I couldn't pick up on anything definite, and that's why I just think these might just be nice little hints back to a previous life, and don't really mean too much because, the first two massively implied. Certainly quite easily implied that they were past. Whereas this one, okay, it's Hydra again, it's a past, but there was nothing to it. Like you say, there was no blinking lights. There was ticking clock. I don't know. It's or it might just be Marvel just doing as they always do and just pulling a fast one, and then next one we might have a massive connection with Cap or someone else. But
I mean, that'd be classic Marvel fashion.
It threw me. Yeah. But it did. It sort of threw me, that one. Yeah.
We kind of talked about the Geraldine stuff a bit already. So do you guys just want to go right into it after their conversation? She's been thrown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach, take this because I have no idea what to say right now.
I mean, like I said, I think Wanda felt more threatened by her than anything. And, I just want to know, like, what's in that field. Like, if Wanda and Vision are, like, in that field.
I'm almost positive they are.
Because, and there's, like, a force field around it, or, is Wanda creating that force field, or are they creating that force field so she stays in there, or what? And like you were saying, I think the next week's episode is going to start out with us seeing what transpired, between her telling her to get out and then her flying out of the portal. And I mean, I really don't got much to say either. I just got more questions than anything. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's in it because I've been back and forth, and I do think Wanda's created this bubble. We've got a bubble.
Yeah.
We only saw one side of it. But I think it's going to be a bubble over Westview. That I think she's created it, but you've got people like Agnes and Herb, some of the other villagers that are in on it, and whether or not they've provoked her to create this bubble. And I think Sword are on the outside trying to. I don't want to say try and get in. I think they can get in because Monica's got in. But I think they realise that she's possibly created this. That Wanda's created this, so that and they might think that her mind is quite fragile. So they're being careful about how they try and interact with her. I mean, again, going back to we think it's Agent Wu over the radio said who's doing this to you. So I don't think they quite know what's going on outside. Maybe that's it. Maybe they don't know. My theory is Wanda's created it, but Swords, don't know what's going on. They know Wanda's in there. I mean, do they know Vision's in there? I don't think there's been much interaction between Monica and Vision.
I think they would, because on the TV screen at the end of episode 1, was it both of them? Oh, I have to remember now. I want to pull it up, but I can't because if I just go right into my Disney Plus account on the thing, it might get copy striked. But
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might not.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think.
I want to know what.
Sorry, go on, Zach.
This is kind of out of left field, but I just want to know what Agnes was going to finish saying when she was saying, "We're all here because," or "She's here because we all," and then just stops. I mean, like way to leave us on a cliffhanger before the show's even over, or episode's even over.
Yeah.
I think it had a lot, and like that was the same time that Wanda cast Geraldine out. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I got more questions than I can really speak on anything. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Zach. Yeah, no, I was just sort of going to pick up on your point where Agnes is talking to Herb by the wall, and obviously Vision starts questioning him. And you're right. I think it's Herb that actually says she came here because we're all, and then doesn't say it, but it cuts to Agnes turning to Herb, and Agnes is quite worried. There's worry in her face that, look, you can't tell him why we're here. You can't tell him why we're here, which makes me think. And she referred to Ralph, her husband Ralph, again. We haven't seen Ralph yet, and I think this is what Tom's picked up on before on previous podcasts as well. That it could be Mephisto. Is it Mephisto?
Yes.
Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah.
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yeah. And I think Ralph might be him, and he's in the background, sort of. I don't want to say controlling things because I don't think he is controlling things, but he's certainly got an invested interest. And he sent the likes of Agnes and Herb, whoever Herb is. I've mentioned before that he may be the part of the Salem 7, but I don't know. But certainly. Sorry, yeah, go on, Tom.
No, finish your point.
Yeah,
sorry.
Certainly, there was worry in Agnes's face when Herb was about to let spill about why they're there, or we're all here because, and she was obviously worried that it was going to unravel herself.
I very much like the theory that Ralph's part of the Salem 7. And I think a lot of the other major characters, I guess, we've met so far. I don't so much think Mr. Hart. I maybe think his wife and also Dottie. I think they might be part of that Salem 7. I don't think we've met everyone, though, from that yet. I'm convinced Agnes is Agatha Harkness. And I'm going to say, yeah, Ralph has to be Mephisto for me. It just makes the most sense. I honestly don't even think we're going to see Ralph this series at all. I'm almost positive we won't see Mephisto this series at all. I think we might get big hints, and we might even get told outright that she's working for Mephisto. But I think if we're going to see Mephisto, it'll most likely be in Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Feige's already said that this links directly in with Doctor Strange. So, which
and Spider-Man
brings
3
me back, and Spider-Man 3. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting because I could see how this links into Doctor Strange, and then Doctor Strange links into Spider-Man. We didn't say that. He says that this links to both. So, yeah, that makes me wonder. I mean, is Mephisto is he linked with Spider-Man in the comics?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
in the Civil War comics, it happened a lot different than it did in the movies. It was all the heroes who were on Tony's side had to unmask and like show the people who they are, pen to paper, show like this is my identity. So Tony Stark held a huge press conference and Spider-Man unmasked himself. Well, after the Civil War, Spider-Man wasn't too happy that all these villains were coming around and trying to kill him and everyone he knows. And they ended up killing Aunt May. So he made a deal with Mephisto to... Oh my god, I really don't like the comic. But it was a deal with Mephisto to bring May back to life if he undoes his marriage with MJ, which essentially undid 20 years of Spider-Man comics.
Right.
So I wasn't a huge fan of that. I like the idea. I like that, like, Mephisto's the devil. He's trying to make a deal with the devil. Like, I get the idea. It's just, please, God, don't ever do that in the MCU.
Sorry, guys, if you guys lost me for a minute. My internet, like, cut out for a second.
Hey, you were quiet for a minute. I was like, oh, Zach's not moving. We're all good.
Yeah, my whole, like, the whole Discord page just went, like, black and came right back up.
True. Well, hey, as long as we're in business still, right?
So, oh, yeah. It was weird, though. I could hear you guys the whole time.
Oh, true. I was gonna... I don't have too much to talk about this last episode of WandaVision, more than I already have. But do you guys want to say anything?
Same. Like I said, I just wanted to bring up the end that we finally got to see. It's confirmed that there is outside world. I mean, we all kind of knew there was, but we have sure. And I was just looking. I didn't. Wanda shirt had a logo or something for costume in X-Men, I guess.
Oh.
That she was wearing, talking with Geraldine. I just looked at it and I forget what her shirt looks like already, but I guess there's a little bit of a symbolism. Costume Scarlet Witch.
I'm gonna have to check that out again, because they are definitely bringing in like the actual costume for the Halloween episode they end up doing.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
These are.
I kind of
wonder if Vision's gonna be all gray.
Well, like because I think there's a few of Vision in the trailer from that too, and he's just like he's dressed up as comic book Vision.
Yeah.
So like.
And I guess we already got Gray Vision with the black and white.
Yeah, that's very true. I think, well, actually, one thing I didn't say. Wiccan and Speed are now in the MCU. Tommy and Billy have
Oh
been
yeah.
born.
Yep.
Yes.
So, Young Avengers,
Yeah.
here we come.
Well, are they here, or is it?
Yeah,
Is this all
That's
just an
true.
illusion?
Because they really.
I was gonna say it's kind of in her mind right now, unless you know something that's happened in the real world.
I kind of think she actually is. Like all this is really happening. She's just manipulating the world around her to be like this. Um, I'm gonna say I'm not 100. I'm very confident that those actually will be Wiccan and Speed, just because they gave them the names of Wiccan and Speed too in the comics. Tommy's
Yeah.
Speed, Billy's Wiccan. I feel like they were trying to kind of tease that a bit throughout. Also, like Wanda not realizing some of the stuff that was happening around, like with the butterflies flying away.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that could have just been even one of the babies. So Wiccan doing some magic before he was born.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
And
I
then
completely
Vision.
forgot to bring that up.
Vision running super fast with the doctor.
Oh yeah, also I guess that scene wasn't a fake out. It wasn't Quicksilver, it was Vision.
I know.
Right,
I
yeah.
know. Yeah. I tell you one thing that did. I don't know if it's just a wardrobe malfunction. I don't know if anyone else picked on it, but this might be my OCD. But Vision, all the way through the episode, had one collar out of his shirt,
Yep.
out of his jumper,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, and I've seen this happen. You see this happening in other. Oh, certainly I see it. Other people might not, but I see it. I see it on TV shows, and you think, and then it cuts to another scene, and it's back in, or or the wardrobe malfunction's being corrected, and they obviously just thought, oh, we can't go back to reshoot that particular bit, so we'll just leave it in. It'll be fine. Whereas they've obviously shot this purposely with his collar out, and I just thought, is that something, or am I really just reading far too much into it? I don't know.
Maybe
What
it's
do you
supposed to be
think?
like something for maybe not the town, maybe for like a casual viewer just to realize like, this guy's not fully human. He doesn't he knows
Mhm.
stuff, but he doesn't know everything.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
Doesn't
know.
know how to. Yeah.
What side is it on?
Oh, his left, our
it's
right, right.
yeah, no, it's his right, our left. I've just got on the screen here now, so yeah.
Hmm.
Like I say, I've looked, I've read a few reviews and been in different forums and stuff, which there's mad theories out
Yeah.
there, and no one else seems to pick this up, and I'm thinking, it's just me with my OCD, but it's purposely being done, because it's not just one scene, it's
Every
throughout,
scene,
so
yeah. I
yeah,
wonder
so
if
it makes
it's
me,
maybe it's a little tease to show us if he's alive or not. Showing that like he's back to his mechanic, like really not serious per se, but like Drax kind of serious, like doesn't really take sarcasm, doesn't really get it, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Like he's just
yeah,
back. Yeah,
the
yeah. He's
monotone.
he's back to this like not organic. This AI again.
yeah,
And Wanda can't manipulate him. And I feel like if she could, and she wanted everything in that reality to be perfect, she would easily be able to fix that, right? Because we've seen her;
yeah,
she's already manipulated Vision too.
yeah,
So
yeah. He does seem a lot more switched on in this episode, whereas previous ones, he doesn't know why he's there, okay, but he doesn't really question it. Not what I can remember anyway. Yet in this one, he questions it a couple of times.
yeah,
First, when he realizes Herb's cutting through the wall, and he's about to mention something to Wanda, and she resets it, and then at the end, where she obviously overhears or sees Agnes and Herb gossiping about something, and that's when obviously he's basically told that there's something's up with Monica. Um, and that's actually how it's left between us. So it's going to be interesting how the next episode picks up on where Vision's state of mind is in terms of where he thinks he is. But I'm certainly pulling around to the fact that he's actually alive, or a version of him is alive. Yeah.
Somewhat, maybe just not 100% yet.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's kind of how I'm thinking, Zach. Like, he's there, but like, I think, Zach, you actually brought this up last week, didn't you? That the reason that the show, or maybe it was you, Chris, the reason the show started in black and white is because she found Vision when he was black and white, and she just kind of lost it there. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that was Zach's, and
I think I just brought up like the little Easter egg in he wore that he in white stone ripped out of his head.
oh, either way, I thought it was a great theory that she found him like that. He was fixed, but it wasn't the same one she knew, and she snapped.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out what's actually going on with Vision. Feige has told us that much, almost like over a year ago now. So,
would you want to see Vision back? Because, and the reason I ask this, I'm not being a comic book fan, but Vision came in and I thought he was great in Age of Ultron. We didn't really get to see too much of him in Civil War, or really in Infinity War. And to me, he's very much a character where when he went, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm not really bothered that he's gone.
mm-hmm.
Or am I massively missing out on something good here? Where if you bring him back, he'd be awesome.
The only big thing I could think of is if they somehow try to redo his origin, and I'll try to explain that better. In the comics, Vision's not made up of Thor's hammers, lightning, and Ultron and Tony and Banner. He's made up of what is it? It's the brainwaves of Wonder Man.
Not Hank Pym.
No, it's Wonder Man. Ultron's Hank Pym.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah.
I think it's Ultron is still part of Vision. I'm pretty sure, no matter what, Ultron's like Vision's. Well, Vision. Ultron was the Vision. Yeah. Or sorry, Vision was Ultron's. Sorry, that's a tongue twister, and it's just going to confuse me if I keep trying to go on with it.
Vision is Ultron's vision.
Yes. Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, it's been a long day.
I was going to say Ultron was Frankenstein. Vision was the monster. That was going to be my comparison.
I mean, hey, either one works. But basically, I'm wondering if like they were actually wrong what they thought about Vision. Part of him's still there, but the Mind Stone actually was a lot more of him. So I have a hunch.
Keeping everything together.
Yeah, there was a snippet of, or was it a behind the scenes thing from WandaVision specifically, of some of the writers talking, and in the background there's a big poster of a certain hero that has not been in the MCU at all yet, and it was Wonder Man.
Right.
So oh, sorry, another little connection. We saw the Grim Reaper's helmet in episode 2. The Grim Reaper is Wonder Man's brother.
Right.
So,
okay.
I think Wonder Man's more than likely going to be brought in. That might be a bit of the way to kind of explain how Vision's getting back to where he is. Just mainly from that behind the scenes access look where they kind of showed, but I really, it might be best if they don't bring him back though, and because if they don't and he ends up actually like staying dead at the end of this, or like I hope they bring Jarvis back at least, but like Vision, like if Vision stays dead at the end of this, I'm going to be 100% sure then that Scarlet Witch is going to be the villain of Multiverse of Madness, or at least part of it.
See, it's interesting you say that, because that's actually a question I was going to ask both of you, because that's the hints I got at the end where she turns on Monica, and it's maybe because I'm fairly sure I know Monica's going to be on the good side of things, and the way she turned and sort of the we didn't see her get sort of thrown through the walls and kicked out of that bubble. But she obviously wasn't happy, and I'm just looking at the way she was. And I think the final scene when Vision had come back in and asked where Geraldine was, and you had the camera sort of right in front of Wanda, and she looked, you could see that was a look of a villain more than a hero, and it did make me wonder: is she going to be, are they going to turn her into to a villain? Certainly for maybe Doctor Strange, perhaps, because in the comics she does do. Is that is that the storyline of House of M?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of things that she's caused in the comics, but yeah, House of M, she was manipulating stuff around her. People ended up breaking through to her in that reality and telling her about everything she'd done. And at the end of it, all she says is no more mutants. And suddenly, was it 2/3 of the mutant population lost their powers?
right. Does she flick in the comics? Does she flick sort of back and forth between being sort of a hero and being a
Yes,
villain, or yeah?
because she
Okay.
starts out bad. Like she was with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, I think. So they
Yeah.
worked with Magneto, and then that was when they first wrote that Magneto was their father, and then unwrote him, and then wrote him in again. That also got complicated. Then there's the House of M. House of M is pretty much the biggest one, and honestly, seeing where this is going, this reminds me partially of House of M, and I think it is going to end with, well, she's not going to say no more mutants, because it's not the mutants that are really like doing this to her or anything. I I think she's gonna do something, and I think that's gonna split open reality and the multiverse, and that's gonna be like right at the very end, maybe an end credit scene, and that'll be our bridge into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, we know there's a
Or
link.
Vision, or Vision does live, but reality doesn't for one. Like maybe it fails. That could be another reason.
You kind of cut out for me there, Zach.
Oh, I don't know where I left off, but Vision could still live, but not remember Wanda at all.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Trying to put back fails. It's just in part.
Oh, sorry. I think you're cutting out a bit there too. Still.
Huh. I don't know what you all heard of what I said.
I think I heard the first bit.
Where, yeah, Vision just doesn't remember her. That's basically what I'm just trying to say.
Yeah.
I think.
What?
Oh, sorry, Chris.
Well, so just picking on what Zach said there. So if he doesn't, he's been rebooted or whatever. He doesn't remember Wanda, so Wanda's now keeping him in this sort of bubble to keep that dream marriage alive. Is that sort of where you're coming from, Zach? Is that what you're thinking? I think Zach's froze.
Oh no, did we lose him? We may have.
We may not know what Zach's theory is on this.
We may never find out. Oh man.
He might come back in.
Yeah. Here we can. Do you want to talk about maybe some? I mean, we've talked about a lot of theories for next week. There is a few other little tidbits of MCU news. Thor 4 has started filming.
All right. Yes.
And it looks like from some of the set photos they're going to be going to Gore the God Butcher's homeworld. So it looks like we're actually going to get an explanation into who Gore is throughout that kind of backstory, which should be good because he's not a hugely known villain.
Yeah, I certainly haven't, been a non-comic book fan. He's a
Yeah.
newbie for me. So yeah, and I think the films are very good at sort of explaining where, they did very well with Thanos in terms of
Hmm.
explaining his backstory and everything. I know they haven't been particularly great on having good villains.
Yeah.
But that being said, the villains that we have had, they've always had a reason. I've always felt that they've had a decent enough reason for doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a bad guy wanting to take over the world because he's selfish or whatever.
Yeah.
They've always had a very good reason for doing what they were doing. Um, but yeah, good to see an explanation for why he's turning up in Thor 4.